how did you come up with like your philosophy? Was it based on your own personal life experiences, obviously, but was there like a particular figure that potentially inspired you? I know in your interview with Soft White Underbelly, you mentioned Patrice O'Neill a couple of times.
Patrice is great.
Yeah. I'm
Rest
curious
in
where your
peace.
influences are from.
Well, a lot of that book, more academically, is from Ludwig von Mises, who was an Austrian economist who I think was absolutely brilliant. His book, Human Action, was just a banger, man. It's like 900 pages long, but every single paragraph was just filled with clarity and insight. I loved his perspective. And he moved economics well beyond the simplistic supply and demand, because that's clearly not enough to explain why certain things have the values that they do. So a lot of what I've come up against, it's like it's not taught in schools, and it's very rarely written in books. I came up against, I developed this philosophy experimentally and over time. To be honest, it came out of a heartbreak. So I was really crushed by a relationship that didn't work out. I ended it, but it needed to be ended. And there I was, and this wasn't the first time I was heartbroken, and I had to confront the possibility that if I knew what women wanted, if I knew what made relationships work, I wouldn't be heartbroken yet again. So maybe my fundamental premises, my fundamental assumptions about who women are, what they want, how relationships are supposed to work, maybe they were wrong. Like it took that many experiences of pain for that long to really come to my first principles and doubt them, which is a very serious kind of crisis of faith, to go to what you assume to be so true that you can barely even put it into words because you think it's like the fish can't see the water, as it were. So I basically said, okay, fuck it. I'm going to pretend that I don't know anything, that I'm just this alien that's landed on this planet, and what's a woman? What's going on? How do you do this? I don't know. And instead of having these ideas about what should work and trying to apply them on reality, I decided instead to let outcomes guide me and to use that to build a model based on what should work, right? Rather than the other way around. And on some level, that's kind of what we would ideally expect of scientists. A scientist doesn't come with preconceived notions about how nature or reality operates.
You test it.
Yeah,
Hypothesize.
the scientist is like, teach me what I should believe by observation, right? And so I decided not to have contempt prior to investigation, which is often what keeps people siloed into their maladaptive beliefs, is that that's wrong, or that's negative judgment word, or that would never work. And so they don't even take the time to consider if there might be some truth in that perspective. Any case, I started to research stuff on the internet, watch videos on YouTube, read books that I might not have read before, and decided to approach dating like a behavioral scientist. And during that time, I must have gone, I think in 1 year, I probably went out on at least 300 first dates.
300 first
Oh, yeah,
dates?
yeah.
That's like pretty much once a day.
Yeah, it was pretty much, I was going on like maybe 5-6 dates a week, yeah.
Were you like going on dating apps to find them, or?
At that time, yeah, I was. And my threshold for who I would go out on a first date with was pretty low, because I guess it was a little disingenuous. I wasn't really dating at that time for a relationship. If it happened, great. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I was dating more to kind of figure out what worked and also to refine my dating practices. I wanted to get good at dating.
Okay.